How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another Storytime video on the Zyphonium channel. And today I have a crazy one that involves what's called an AP test. Now, if you don't know what an AP test is, in the United States we take these AP classes, which are basically college level classes that have these end of year exams in May. And if you pass these exams, you can actually get credit for actual college classes. If you did well enough, you could skip like 1 or 2 classes. I think it's a really cool system, whether or not you actually agree with it. Anyways, we're not here to talk about what an AP exam is and how it works. Instead, we're going to talk about, actually, what you're not supposed to do. Cheating. If you watched a few of my other videos, you might know that I went to a really competitive high school. It was pretty good. I'm not really trying to say, oh, my high school's better, so I'm better, because that doesn't make sense. But it was a very difficult high school. They really pushed us to our limits, and it was absolutely painful. If you knew just what we had to endure, you might even feel sorry. Their strategy was basically to brute force us a bunch of information and assignments, to the point where, of course, we'd have to remember the information. We had these really good pass rates for AP exams and state tests and stuff like that. But it was also the type of school where if you miss a day, it was tragic. Even if you were sick, you would try to find any excuse to go to school. That's just how it went. Not to mention, you'd actually get sick a lot in that school because they incentivize you not to miss any days of school whatsoever, otherwise you'd be really behind. In other words, going to a good high school is not equal to going to a high school that you actually want to go to. I mean, in the end it worked out. I was really prepared for college, but the actual journey was very painful. And while our high school was basically just a bunch of nerds, myself included, there was one big problem that was disproportionately high at my high school, and that was cheating. Pretty much everyone tried to find different creative ways to cheat. I mean, I don't know if I exactly cheated. Like, what I'd really do is putting 1 or 2 dots on my knee under my pants. I mean, I'm not sure that actually counts. That's like moving the time on your watch ahead 1 hour to remember a certain concept. Again, I don't really know if it counts, but people tried doing everything. They invented their own writing languages. If the teacher was gone for even a minute, basically the entire class was in on some kind of big cheating scheme. Like, it was really insane. Anyways, so we had to take a bunch of AP classes. At the very minimum, by the time you graduated, you had to have taken at least 3. And that's because they required you at that school to take certain AP classes. But there was also some AP classes that you could take as electives. And for today's topic, I'm going to be talking about AP lunch. Now, obviously there's no AP lunch, but this was also an incident that was on the news and I don't want anything going back to my school. So yeah, AP lunch. The class where you learn about how to mamma mia your pizza pie. I honestly don't know. Anyways. So AP lunch was known for being a really demanding class, and not many people chose it in their schedules. And in fact, the year this happened, there was slightly more than 20 people in the class. So a regular class size, but, for the entire course. There is so much information that goes into studying for this class that one kid decided it'd be a great idea to cheat. And we'll call him Yoda, because he was actually smart. I mean, Yoda was wise, but we're not going to talk about that. By the end of our senior year, Yoda was actually one of the top kids in my graduating class. And if there was a student who actually needed to cheat, Yoda was not the one. And I'm not saying anyone needs to cheat. I'm just saying, if there was somebody who did not know the information that well, it was far from Yoda. The morning of the AP exam, Yoda was scrolling on a website. Now, of course, I don't condone cheating, so I'm not going to say exactly what this website is, but I will say that it's probably a website you've heard of. A lot of you even probably use it. It's kind of broken up into mini websites, but that's as far as I'm going to go. So he found some of the questions and answers on this website somehow. So he went into the AP exam knowing exactly the type of content that would be on there. When he took the test, he was excited because he knew that he had aced it. In fact, he was so happy that he actually decided to tell some people. Now, I wasn't there, so I don't know how many people he told, who he told exactly, or if anyone eavesdropped. But in short, what happened is that not that long after, somebody told the school administration, and College Board launched an investigation. Every kid in the AP lunch class was taken in and questioned. College Board was really out for Yoda. Each of the 20-ish people were interviewed individually, and in the end, they really could not find anything. They suspected that somebody got their answers online, and as far as I'm aware, they were right, but they really could not figure out who it was. I mean, yeah, Yoda's not going to fess up. It definitely would have been way better because what they did next was just insane. Everyone who took the AP lunch exam had to go and retake the AP exam in July, months after. You know, during the middle of summer vacation, when you've forgotten everything in every class that doesn't matter, in one of the classes that has the most information of any AP exam. Now that must have been painful. And they were only given like a week's notice, so they had an entire week to study every single bit of information from AP lunch, down from the chapter on how to insult people like Gordon Ramsay, to how to properly flip a patty. Every single little detail. And this was also on the news, so that's how I first learned about this. This was something that spread around my school really quickly. Of course, since I wasn't in the class, I knew nothing. Even people in the class did not know anything about it. Yoda got away scot-free. He also brought down the other 19 people with him, which is just a really bad thing to do. They had nothing to do with this. Why did you make them have to suffer because of something you did? Now you might be wondering how I learned all this stuff related to Yoda, and that's because I was just kinda sitting in one of my classes, and in one of the conversations I was having with some of my friends, they were talking about the whole Yoda cheating on an AP exam situation, but with more detail than I knew. I assume that those people were the same people Yoda told about how he cheated, but I can only speculate. At the end of the day, this was really just a scummy thing to do. It was one of the worst exams to have to retake. If it was AP Psychology, then yeah, it's not that bad. But AP Lunch? Now that's too far. That's pretty much it for the story. Yoda never got caught, but again he had to retake the exam, along with everyone else. So anyways, that's it for this story. If you'd like to hear more crazy stories like this, be sure to subscribe. If you hated it, don't forget to leave a dislike. You can follow me on Twitter at ZyphonYT. Also, be sure to check out some of my other videos. You can click on the left if you'd like to hear a story about the time one kid had to pay to be valedictorian. I mean, he didn't exactly pay to be valedictorian directly, but the process to be valedictorian required money. You can also click on the video to the right if you'd like to hear a story about the time one of my teachers stabbed a student. Anyways, that's it. See ya, peace.